Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 brands that I wanted to try in 2022, whether or not I got to try them out, and what brands I would like to try in 2023. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. So at the end of the year, I do like to do a little recap of the products I've tried, brands I've tried throughout the year, and what brands have my attention for the new year. So the first brand I wanted to try out in 2022 was RCMA, and I did not get to try them out. I did not. That is a possible for next year. They do have a liquid foundation I'm curious about, but overall I feel like I was just testing and trying out so many different products that I just kind of forgot. And then they're not a brand that constantly has new releases, so I literally just did forget about RCMA. They are a brand that is still on my radar and I would still consider trying out. I still do want to try their liquid foundation, so we shall see. But unfortunately, I did not make it through to try out RCMA. The next brand I wanted to try was Wayne Goss, and I actually did get to try out Wayne Goss's brand this year. I tried out his new luxury cream foundation. So when I initially put his name on the list, I was kind of thinking more so eyeshadows or even lip products, because those are some of my favorite things to try out. But he did end up releasing this cream foundation this year and I really do like it. The only problem is that I have the wrong shade, and I would definitely like it more if it was my own shade. But overall, I do think this is a really great high quality cream foundation. I do find that it sometimes grabs onto dry patches, so it's not one I reach for the most, but mostly the main issue is just the shade. So his shade range is definitely very limited because he is a completely self-funded brand. So for that reason, I don't reach for this as much as I should. But also I do want to place an order. I still really want to try out his eyeshadows, his lip products. So I did get to try the brand. I would like to try more, but my first experience with the brand was overall a success, I do think. Okay, and it looks like I was feeling very bougie last year because I also had Armani on the list, and I did not get to try out anything from Armani. I'm still curious about their foundations, concealers, but the thing is they're so expensive that I just talked myself out of it. So that one I did not try. I also wanted to try out BK Beauty. So BK Beauty is owned by Lisa J here on YouTube. I absolutely love her. I feel like she does such a great job with makeup tips and really just teaching the art of makeup as well as doing reviews. So I really do love and value her channel. BK Beauty does specializes in brushes, but they've started branching themselves into makeup. I have not tried any of their makeup yet, but I have tried quite a few of their brushes. I picked up a couple sets this year, and I will say these are my favorite makeup brushes I have ever used, ever tried. I pulled my very favorite brushes, but I pretty much love them all. The 101 foundation brush, favorite foundation brush. This is the reason I have not used a sponge pretty much all year, because I just love this foundation brush so much. I love how soft it is. I love how big it is. I love how it's contoured. I really love this brush. The 103 brush is kind of like a giant powder brush, but I love it for bronzer. This is the one I reach for every single time I'm wearing a powder bronzer. The 202 has become my absolute favorite crease brush. I actually have 2 of these now because I love them so much. It's fluffy, but it's not so fluffy that it's too big for my eyes. I don't have a small lid, but I also don't have the most lid space, if that makes any sense. So this is really perfect for me. And one of my other very, very favorite brushes is from the Angie Hot and Flashy collaboration, and this is the A506. Perfect concealer brush. I don't love any concealer brush more than I love this, so highly recommend this. I do highly, highly recommend BK Beauty brushes if you haven't tried them already. Definitely my favorite brushes, which I think explains why I did not try out the next brand I had on my list, and the next brand I had on the list was Refer brushes. I'm still very curious because I've heard such great things about the brand, so I'm really not sure how I feel. And then every time I've gone to splurge and make a sale, as I'm filming this, it's Black Friday, they have a really great sale going on, but I remind myself that I have and love my BK Beauty brushes, so I don't really need any more. So I did not try Refer, but that's kind of the reasoning behind that. So what brands do I want to try out in 2023? So the first one I have is Odins Eye. So this is an indie brand out of Sweden, and I would say they've gained popularity in the last year or so. Most recently they had their Christmas palettes, they had another collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist, and their eyeshadows just look so incredibly beautiful and sparkly and shiny. So I have been very curious to try them out, and I can definitely see myself splurging on the brand at some point. I will say shipping is a little bit more difficult to Canada, so I'm just a little more skeptical about that, but I think I may end up trying the brand at some point because their eyeshadow palettes look amazing. The next brand I had on my list is Sydney Grace. So I believe they've been on my list before and I still haven't tried them out. I just really like everything I've heard and seen from the brand. They seem really amazing. Their shadows look beautiful. People rave about them all the time, and for some reason I have not tried them out. So that may be something that I look into for Black Friday. I'm not 100% sure, but that is a brand I would like to try out at some point. I also have Give Beauty from Gwen Stefani. So I have almost picked up something from this brand so many times this year. She did finally release some more neutral lipsticks, so I was kind of wanting to pick up one of those, and for some reason I didn't. And then she had lip liners, and for some reason I didn't grab those. I know her first launch had eyeshadow palettes and I really wanted them, and then I didn't hear the best things, so I held off, but I really do want to try something from this brand. So that's one that I'm probably for sure going to try out in 2023. I can see myself just throwing something on in a future Sephora order because it keeps nagging at me to try something from the brand. The next brand I have listed to try out is Rose Inc. So because I'm a child and I keep seeing a toilet seat whenever I look at their blushes, I have not purchased their blushes. People are raving and raving about their cream blushes, and I haven't picked them up because of their packaging. So in the new year, I will either look past that and just pick up one of the blushes, or I will pick up something else entirely from the brand. I think I'm going to end up getting a blush because that's what I hear about the most. I've heard lukewarm opinions about the cream bronzer, so I'm not really into that, but I think I might just end up getting a cream blush. The reason I've held off has been absolutely ridiculous, but that's why. And the final brand I would like to try out in 2023 is Lisa Eldridge. So she recently released some eyeshadow palettes and they look absolutely stunning. I absolutely wanted to pick one up and I just didn't, but I should have. I've also heard incredible things about her lip products, so I would love to test out something from that line as well. That's just a brand I've definitely had my eye on. So a good mix of more mainstream, some high-end, some indie brands. So I'm happy with my list. I didn't do the best at trying out brands this year, but honestly, I'm happy with what I did try. So that is it for me today. Let me know down below if there's any brands you think I should try out that maybe I haven't, or that you're looking to try out in the new year as well. Let me know down below. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!